Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Baggy's Biology. So in this video session we are going to discuss about the cell division and the cell cycle, which is a basic concept of cell biology, and we are having about these concepts from school level to the competitive exams level. So this video session will be useful to get the concept and knowledge on that particular topic. So let's have a small introduction about the cell division. And we know that the growth and development of multicellular organisms depends on a growth and development or generation of the cells. And we know we are considering the cell as a basic structural and functional unit of our life. So when you consider the unicellular organisms, in the unicellular organisms, when the cell is undergoing the division, it is considered as its reproduction. So if you consider in multicellular organisms, it start their life from a single cell, that is zygote. So the zygote is formed after the fertilization process, and this zygote is undergoing the cell division to form an embryo, fetus and the baby. So such cycles of growth and division, it allows a single cell to form an organism. Now we have a two terminology which are very important, like cell division and cell growth. So once you have a look at this cell division, it is nothing but one particular cell is dividing into the two cells or the four cells based on a type of division which is undergoing. We call it as a cell division. So this cell division allows an organism to grow and development. For this division to occur, the cell need to grow before that. So that will be considered as a cell growth. So this particular single parent cell is undergoing the cell division to form a progeny. So this progeny again undergoing the series of divisions to form a new population. Now when you observe here, this is a cell which is small in size, and it is in a next stage it just increased in its size, and in a last stage it just increased in its size when compared to the previous cell. Now this cell growth and the cell division will be useful for the cell proliferation. When you observe here, this parent cell is undergoing the cell division to form a progeny. That progeny is also resembles the parent cell in its size and shape. And again the progeny undergoes a cell division to form the next generation. The next generation is also resembling their parents and the ancestors. So in that way, this series of cell divisions occurs along with the growth will be useful for cell proliferation. We have a small history about this cell division. Here are the scientists Carol Nageli and Rudolf von Virchow. Carol Nageli was a scientist in the year of 1846. He just explained that new cells are always formed through the division of pre-existing cells. For example, when you have a single cell which will be considered as a parent cell, that cell is undergoing the division to form a two new cells. When you consider here, these two daughter cells are formed from the pre-existing cells, which was explained by the Nageli. And later on the scientist Rudolf von Virchow, he just supported the concept which was explained by the Nageli, and based on that concept he proposed the theory. We call it as a cell lineage theory, or also called as cell inheritance theory. So what is this cell lineage theory actually explains? It explains that daughter cells always arise from the pre-existing cells by the cell division. So the parent cell is considered as a pre-existing cells. It is forming the two new daughter cells after the cell division. It is called as omnis cellula e cellula, which means all the cells arise from pre-existing cells by the cell division. We have three types of cell divisions in living organisms: amitosis, mitosis and meiosis. We'll discuss about amitosis. Amitosis is also considered as direct cell division. So why we are calling it as a direct cell division is there is a splitting of nucleus. Once the nucleus division or splitting is done, next it is followed by the cytoplasmic division. So this type of division actually seen in unicellular organisms. For example, primitive algae and the protozoans, they show this mitosis type of cell division. And we are not having any changes or the appearance of disappearance of nuclear membrane, formation of chromosomes, spindle fibers. All these changes cannot be observed in mitosis. So how this division actually occurs? It starts with the elongation of a nucleus, and once the nucleus is elongated, the cytoplasm will also follow the nucleus, and finally by the formation of a constriction, it is dividing into the two cells. Okay, so it doesn't involve any nuclear events. Nuclear events in the sense the events which are occurring inside of a nucleus, like chromosomal division, DNA replication, all these cannot be seen in this kind of mitosis or direct cell division. As you consider here, the cell is containing the nucleus as well as a nucleolus along with the cytoplasm. This is undergoing the mitosis type of division or direct cell division by the formation of a constriction at its center part or at the equatorial part of a cell. Whenever the constriction is formed, as the nucleus is already elongated inside of a cell, the cytoplasm will also elongate along with the nucleus. So these two cells, it is just forming two cells by complete elongation of nucleus along with the cytoplasm. They are forming two new cells, will be considered as a dotted cells. So those dotted cells which are formed by the mitosis process will be containing the nucleus, cytoplasm and nucleolus, which resembles the parent cell. And before discussing about the mitosis and meiosis, we should have an idea about cell cycle. So those were the cell divisions, and before the cell division we are having a cell preparatory phase. The cell need to be prepared for the cell division. That whole preparation will be done in a process of cell cycle, or we can also consider it as a life cycle. So what is meant by cell cycle? Which is a sequence of events by which cell duplicates its genome. The genome or a genetic material which is present in a cell is going to be duplicated repeatedly, or we can also consider it as a preparation of a cell for the cell division. So in this case, eventually the cell divides into dotted cells, and those dotted cells again they are just dividing into the four cells again. Once the dotted cells are formed, they will be considered as a parent cells. This sequence of the events which occur repeatedly in an organism we considered as a cell cycle. And although the cell growth is nothing but whenever the cytoplasm of a cell is increasing, which leads to the cell growth. Although the cell growth is a continuous process, DNA synthesis occurs only at a specific stage in a cell cycle, which we are going to discuss now. Human cell divides once in every 24 hours. When you consider the yeast or the Saccharomyces, it just divides in about 90 minutes. This cell cycle mainly involves the two phases. The cell cycle is also called as a life cycle, which mainly involves two phases, that is interphase and mitosis. What is meant by interphase? Interphase is also called as non-dividing phase or the preparatory phase. So in this interphase we cannot observe any kind of division of our cells, but the cell is preparing for the division. We also considered as a non-dividing phase or preparatory phase, which involves the three stages again. Three phases or the periods: G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. G0 phase is also mentioned here. I'll explain while I'm explaining about the cell cycle. And the next stage and the next phase is mitosis. Mitosis is a division phase once the cell completed all the three stages in an interphase, the cell enters into the mitosis where the actual division process starts. We can also consider it as a cell division. This mitosis involves the two phenomenon, that is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Karyokinesis is nothing but there is a division of a nucleus. Cytokinesis means division of a cytoplasm. Whenever these two events occur in a cell, then it will be considered as a complete cell division or mitosis. This karyokinesis involves the four stages. All these are the four phases which are occurring in a nucleus, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So this is a cell cycle. When you consider this as a complete cycle, here we have a G1 phase, S phase, G2 phase. All these three phases are considered as a interphase or the preparatory phase or non-dividing phase of a cell cycle. So at the end of the G2 phase, the cell is ready to divide. There actually the mitosis starts. So as the mitosis involves the karyokinesis and cytokinesis, all these four phases comes under the karyokinesis. At the end of a telophase, all the nuclear division will be completed. At the end of telophase, the cell is ready to enter into the cytokinesis where the cytoplasmic division takes place. So we'll discuss about this cell cycle briefly. So let's have a look at this. The first phase, we also call it as a G1 phase and or gap 1 phase or G1 period. S phase is also called as synthesis phase and G2 phase is also called as gap 2 phase. At the end of gap 2 phase, we have a M phase which involves all these stages. So we'll look at a G1 phase here. The total cell division or for the completion of this whole cell cycle, it takes 24 hours. Now this particular G1 phase, it takes 10 hours to complete. So this particular phase is taking 10 hours to complete and the S phase takes 7.5 hours to complete. It takes 7.5 hours to complete and for the G2 phase it takes 3.5 hours to complete. And a remaining M phase actually takes only 1 hour. So we'll look at what are the changes which are going to occur in this particular phase. Now, when you observe here, G1 phase is a phase where it's a period of cell growth before the DNA is duplicated. So the interphase begins in a daughter cell. So after the mitosis, after the cells are formed, that daughter cells enters into the G1 phase where actually it is a stage just before the DNA duplication. And once the cell in this G1 phase is completed, it enters into the S phase. So here the G1 phase is actually the period of cell growth before the DNA is duplicated. And what is the S phase? S phase is also considered as a synthesis phase where we are having the actual duplication or replication of DNA in a chromosome. And once the S phase is done, that cell is entering into the G2 phase. Whenever the G2 phase is there, it is a period after the DNA replication or duplication is completed. The cell is ready to enter into the cell division, that is mitosis. So at the end of a G2 phase, the interphase is going to end in a parental cell. That parental cell is entering into the M phase, and where we are having the karyokinesis and cytokinesis. After the series of process, at the end of a M phase, we will be getting the two daughter cells. So these two daughter cells again both the cells will undergoing the cell cycle. It's like a cyclic process. So we'll discuss about this in a briefly. What is meant by interphase? So this interphase is also called as a preparatory phase or non-dividing phase. The interval period between two successive cell divisions, we call that whole phase as a interphase. It just, though it appears inactive, though this phase appears inactive, but the nucleus and the cytoplasm, they are active metabolically as well as synthetically. This phase lasts more than 95% of a cell cycle. When you consider the whole cell cycle as 100%, only the interphase, or we can also consider it as a preparatory phase, is only occupies the 95% and remaining 5% is a actual cell division. And this interphase containing the three distinct periods like G1, S phase and G2 phase. We'll discuss about the G1 phase here. So this G1 phase is also called as G1 period, or first growth or first gap period, or post mitotic period. Why we are having these names? Post mitotic in the sense, post means later or after. As this phase is starting after the completion of mitosis, we call it as a post mitotic period. So we'll just look at this phase only. The phase between a mitosis and the interaction of a DNA replication. So S phase is a phase where actually DNA replication is occurring. The phase which is between a mitosis and a DNA replication, that particular phase we called as a G1 phase. So what are the changes which are occurring in this? Here is a phase where actually the cell is increasing in its size, and the synthesis of RNA, proteins required for the DNA synthesis, everything will be formed or synthesized in this gap 1 phase. Because in a S phase, the actual DNA replication process will be starting. So before that, it just requires all the proteins and the RNA for its replication. So that preparation or the synthesis will be done in G1 phase. And there is a synthesis of protein called as a tubulin, and tubulin protein will be synthesized in a gap 1 phase. And also some of the proteins which are required for the mitosis division, mitotic division, that apparatus or the proteins will also be synthesized in a G1 phase. The cell which is present in this G1 phase is metabolically active and it is growing in its size. Once the G1 phase is completed, the cell is entering into the next phase, that is S phase. This S phase is also considered as a synthetic phase or S period, and this is the phase where the actual replication of DNA occurs. In this phase, the number of chromosomes remains same, but the DNA content only getting doubled in that cell. If the amount of DNA in G1 phase is 2C, if it is containing the two chromosomes, a number remains the same, but the DNA content is going to be doubled. So the amount of DNA in a G1 phase is 2C and it is going to be doubled into the 4C during the S phase. There is no any change of a number of chromosomes. In the animal cells, we have a particular cell organelle called as a centriole, will be useful for the cell division by forming the spindle fibers. That centriole is going to be duplicated in a cytoplasm in this S phase. If the DNA replication doesn't takes place within 24 to 48 hours after the cell division in this S phase, the cell doesn't divide further. And the next phase which we are having is a G2 period or gap 2 phase, and this is a just previous stage or a previous period to the mitotic division. We also considered as a pre-mitotic period or second growth period. So what are the changes are occurring in this gap 2 phase? So in this gap 2 phase, the volume of nucleus increases because it is just entering into the cell division where the nuclear changes are involving. So that's the reason the volume of nucleus is going to be increased. And the protein synthesis and the synthesis of nuclear RNA, rRNA, mRNA are synthesized in this particular G2 phase. And the number of cell organelles are also going to be doubled as the mitosis division involves the parent cell is forming the two daughter cells. So it should distribute, or it should give the equal number of cell organelles to the daughter cells. So the number of cell organelles are getting doubled in this GAP2 phase. The synthesis of energy pools required for the formation of the spindle fibers and for the chromosomal movements, all that energy sources will be synthesized in this G2 phase. The cell is prepared for another division, that is nothing but a mitosis. In this GAP2 phase, we can also consider it as a second growth or pre-mitotic period. Now, some cells in adult animals, they do not divide, for example, heart cells, but some cells divide occasionally, and they need to replace the cells that have been lost because of the injury or the cell death. So whenever they lost the ability to divide, maybe by the chance of injury or the cell death, again they get the power of dividing nature. It just occurs occasionally. These cells exit from a few cells are there. We will be having one more phase or a period we will be considering as a G0 phase, and which is called as a quiescent stage. And what is this stage? What type of cells which are present here is actually these cells which are present in a G0 phase or a quiescent stage, they exit from a G1 phase. Okay, the cells which are entered after the mitotic division, they enter into the G1 phase. From the G1 phase, few cells will be entering into the G0 phase, and that stage is a complete inactive stage. The cell will be active, but it is not performing any cell divisions, or it is not undergoing the cell cycle. So they remain metabolically active, but they divide whenever any requirement or whenever it is needed. The cells of a resting phase or a quiescent stage or the G0 stage, that is going to be divide again whenever there is an injury or a cell death. So that's about the cell cycle of the interphase. Once the interphase is completed, the cell is entering into the M phase or mitotic phase or division phase. So this phase in a cell cycle, it is a 24 hours of duration. If you consider the human cell, M phase is only about an hour. So this M phase starts with a division of a nucleus, or the nuclear division, we call it as a karyokinesis. And once the karyokinesis is completed, there is a division of cytoplasm, that is cytokinesis. So these two events occur simultaneously in a M phase. Now here is a picture which is showing, of course we'll be having a much to know about the M phase, though it is an hour, but which plays a vital role in the case of cell division and cell growth. At the end of a G2 phase, we'll be having the starting of a M phase or mitotic phase. So in this phase, we'll be having a series of cell changes, and all these prophase, prometaphase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase, all these phases are considered as events of a karyokinesis. And once the nuclear division is done, the cell is undergoing the cytokinesis, the division of a cytoplasm, where it is dividing into the two cells. We are going to discuss about this mitosis in next session.